Well, welcome to the Business Spotlight series. My name is Tanner O'Brien. I'm a senior partner here at Action Coach in Central Texas. And today I am joined by Joe Torres. Very excited to be sitting down with Joe here to learn a little bit more about his background, his business, and Lifewave, and all the fun things that you've got going on there, Joe. So thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with me today. I'm just going to hand it over to you. Why don't you just share with us a little bit about your background and what you're up to these days?
Okay. Well, I really appreciate you wanting to interview me. This is kind of a fun opportunity. A long time ago, I started after I finally graduated from college. Took me a long time, but I finally made it. I got a free ride to Michigan State, graduated, didn't have to do anything, got a teaching job, special education. Taught severely disturbed autistic kids for 12 years. That was fun, then it ran its course. I was also selling real estate part-time, but I was like the number top producer in Northern California, part-time. So it was kind of cool. So I took a break from teaching, did that for a while, and a friend came and knocked on my door one time, and he goes, "Hey, I have an interesting opportunity. Would you be interested in hearing about it?" I said, "He's a neighbor and a good friend of mine." So I said, "Sure, let's hear about it." So we went out to a comedy nightclub, and I thought this was fun. And then we went to another one, the International Comedy Competition in San Francisco. Robin Williams was in the runoffs. This is a long time ago. Okay, he didn't win. He took second place. But a week later, he got Morgan Mindy. So, and the guy who won never won anywhere. But from that point on, I thought, I saw those people wrapped around that building, and it seated over 2,000 people for that night. I looked at all those people. I thought, whoa, these people are paying good money. It was like $25 back then to get in. My partner actually came out. He wanted to open up a comedy club. I said, "Comedy, what do you know about doing that?" Nothing. But he had every detail planned out to the kilowatt of the electricity we would use. That's how anal he was. But a good guy, really good guy. And he sold medical instruments. You had an opening on your body, he had an instrument that would go up that opening, okay? And he helped surgeons how to use them. So I thought it was cool. Pretty cool guy. Anyway, we opened the club. And the first club we opened, first 6 months, we were sold out every night of the week. Cash only, took no credit cards, beer and wine only to start with, okay? It was packed, 300 people. Every night of the week for the first 6 months, it was like that, and it tapered off a hair. Not a lot, just a little bit. So then we got comments from other comics. Everybody wanted to work for us. So we opened up a second club in Portland, Oregon. And I went up to manage the construction. I liked it up there. I moved my family there. We stayed there. Then we opened up another one in Phoenix, then another one in Seattle, and another one in San Jose. We had 5 of them. Now, every comic in the world, in the country, wanted to work for us. We guaranteed 20% of their annual income because they'd work for us twice at each club. That's 10 weeks a year that they don't have to worry about if they're good enough. We were the first club to go non-smoking. Out of all the clubs, we had no smoking. We didn't smoke. We didn't like it. We didn't allow it. Okay. 200 employees, 4 states, my partner and I. My wife booked all the clubs. My mom and dad were the carpenters, the repair people. My aunt and uncle were the janitors. His in-laws were the cooks. And my aunt and uncle, they did all kinds of stuff for us. So we had a lot of fun. We did that for 12 years. We were nationally ranked. HBO filmed in our clubs, Showtime. Robin Williams worked for us, Tim Allen, Howie Mandel, Bob Saget, Ellen DeGeneres, etc. We were national. We didn't get the big heads. We had fun. That's all. We just had fun, made a lot of money. So we sold out, retired. Okay. I got bored, became a mortgage broker. Did very well in that, did about $2 million a month in closings. And then the market died. So I retired again. Okay. And I was just saying, I got really bad arthritis. Okay. My right hand, I couldn't turn my head any farther than this without severe pain. I couldn't bend over and tie my shoes. My wife had to do that. That got old real quick. So a friend of mine called me, a next door neighbor in Oregon. 28 years we're neighbors. And she said, we're just shooting the breeze. She goes, what are you up to? And I told her what about was going through. She goes, you got to try this. I said, okay, what is it? And I said, I knew it was over at that point. She was going to sell me something. And she did. And it was good. Okay. Because I tried the product. All it is a little patch. There it is. I tried it on the back of my hand, and I had one on the back of my neck. A day later, I forgot I had them on. I can make a complete fist. I couldn't bend those 3 fingers prior to that. All of a sudden, boom, no pain, 0. And I can turn my head from side to side. Couldn't do that with 8 weeks of physical therapy. I have 0 pain. I can bend over and tie my shoes. Since then, but it's a little 3 years later, I have clients. I've had 2 stroke victims that don't have medications anymore. I have a young girl with a ruptured pancreatic duct that doesn't have to take, and she's not bedridden. 21 years bedridden, this young lady. Got her out in 3 months.
Wow.
We got a lady out of hospice. She had a bad heart. She left hospice. Her heart increased the pressure of blood from 15% to 56% in less than 3 months. Yeah.
Incredible.
I got another guy off a catheter. Took 2 hours. Never had a client like that before. And hang on, sorry about that. And so he called me and he goes, I don't know what you did to me. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, well, he used the word, pissing like a racehorse. I go, with or without the catheter? He goes, without. I said, 2 hours later, give me a break. Are you kidding me? It was too hard to believe. He goes, yeah. 4 weeks later, he doesn't need prostate surgery. Okay.
Wow.
Personally, my prostate shrunk 10 grams in a 3-month period. No medications, none. I dropped them. And my urologist said, you don't have to take medications anymore. You're done. You have the prostate of a 25 to 40-year-old. And I'm a lot older than that. Okay. I have lots of clients with stories like that. 4.5, 5 weeks ago now, we enrolled Danny Glover. He from Lethal Weapon.
Mm-hmm.
He has MS. And he got on the Zoom with 175 of his training. And he wanted to share the fact that he had just started 30 minutes prior and all the pain in his back was gone. We're going 30 minutes. Wow. Another lady got the same thing. She has MS and she repeated the same story for herself. So I have had over 300 clients, okay, and customers and team members who you name neuropathy. We don't cure, we don't diagnose diseases, but we address the symptoms. You take care of the symptoms, you take care of the issue for the most part. So what we do, we own the technology worldwide. So there isn't any other company in the world that can do what we do. They can say they do things for stem cells, but we don't do an injection. All it is a little patch, stick it on wherever you need it, or we'll give you a protocol. And it should work within 30 minutes or so. Now, just imagine if you have somebody that has a severe back injury, all of a sudden they're able to stand up and walk around without any pain. Wouldn't that be cool? That's what we do. And I want
really cool.
Can I show you this picture?
Please.
All right, let's go do, okay, share screen. And I'm going to reduce you and then bring this up, okay? Can you see this on your screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, it's a picture of a horse. Okay, left side, right side. Would you say he's suffering a little bit from inflammation?
It certainly appears to be so, yes.
That's an infrared camera that shows you all the inflammation in his right side. The blue is his heart. It should not be like that. Okay, and here is his left side. Okay, He's a barrel racer. His name's Hawkeye. He's owned by one of my teammates, who's an equine therapist. She does infrared camera shots on all of her animals that she works with. This is Hawkeye less than 10 minutes later. The
That's
green.
incredible.
Actually, it's less than that, but we tell people 10 minutes because they can stomach that. It seems real to them when you say 10 as opposed to 2. We never got the second set of patches. First set went right here behind his ears, each side, and trying to get him on was a chore because he's rearing, kicking, dragging the trainer across the yard. He is not a happy camper in the top picture. Less than 10 minutes later, we got 2 patches on, did not get the second set on the shoulder blades or the back end here before he was already green for the camera. He was calm, collect, you could rub him down. Pretty cool, huh?
It's incredible.
Yeah, now that's stem cells for you. We also do, you name it, stem cells are the only thing that can cure or repair damage in your body. If you're not healthy, and after you turn age 25, they tend to start going dormant. So we own the technology to reset them back to an earlier age. This is Betty. You see Betty okay?
I can, yes.
Betty's 93 years old. Here on the left side, aging has not been good to her. Look at her eyes. And then if you go down around the mouth and the lips, chin, forehead, the jaws. Look at her on the right side. That's less than 3 months later.
Wow.
Pretty cool. Just a little bit of wrinkling on the side here, and that's it. But look at her eyes and her mouth. No makeup. And her skin is glowing.
So that is absolutely amazing.
That's stem cells for you. Okay. Now I'm going to show you one more. This is phenomenal. You met Jackie. Have Jackie tell you about James, her husband. James is bald. I mean bald. He didn't even shave his head. Ears, he's been bald, right? Well, we developed a particular patch called X49 that affects a particular tripeptide amino acid that's in your body called AHK. It affects hair follicles, bone density, and your heart. Pretty cool stuff. We didn't test for bone density. We didn't test for hair. We only tested for the heart. Okay. And we did it on 60 and 70-year-old people. So let me show you this one. Okay. This is not James, of course, but this lady is a team member. She's our team leader, in fact. She had tried for years to fill in this bald spot on the top of her head. Okay. 9 months later.
That is some drastic improvement.
Yeah. James, being bald, 3 months after he started the X49, his head, I was with him one day, we were just doing something, and he said, look, and he took his bald cap off, and I go, oh my God, it was all peach fuzz, hair growing all over. And he'd never had that before. So
incredible.
That's stem cells. I have guys one guy almost severed his hand with a power saw. And I had to rush him to emergency. Doctor said I can sew it back on, but it won't function properly. You won't be able to have total control of it because I don't care, sew it back up. So he did. He had this huge gash all the way up top of his hand from here all the way down. And it was probably 1/4 inch wide, ugly looking gash. It just doesn't show up well on my picture here, but 63 days later, the scar looks like one of the lines on his hand. You know, these lifelines,
Mm-hmm.
and he has full function in the hand.
That is spectacular, truly.
That's stem cells. It's the coolest thing. And here's what else cool I like about it is, well, it did for me. And I'm able to help other people. And the joy of hearing somebody say, hey, my blood sugar levels dropped significantly in a 4-hour period. and sometimes less than that. I go, well, and we weren't even going for that. We were going for a cardiopulmonary issue. But he noticed, because, and he didn't tell me he had type 2 diabetes. I have guys with neuropathy, all of a sudden. I have one guy in a wheelchair. It took him about 6 months, and he's now feeling pain in his legs, where he is a paraplegic from the waist down, and he had no feeling whatsoever. He's feeling pain. And so I goes, well, that's a cool thing. I mean, if you're getting to that point, what's next? So there's thousands of things like that out there with what we do. And nobody else in the world can do this. That's what's really cool. You don't take anything in. There's no injections. There's zero side effects, negative side effects, and it has zero impact on anything you're taking. And if you're not happy for any reason, we'll give you all your money back. No questions asked. I can guarantee that. I've seen it happen a couple of times. The only time I find it doesn't work is people don't put the patch on. So if you don't wear it, it doesn't work. Okay. So with my hand, my neck, my prostate issue, I'm sold. I'm a happy camper. I know it works, and I don't have to take anything in. So nothing enters your body. That's the cool part. We use light, and Jackie will tell you about her stuff, how she uses light waves, which is real. It's a new technology coming up. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell. Aside
Joe,
from
that is really
life.
cool. Very,
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah.
I am curious. It is very clear from the conversation so far. You've got a lot of passion about this venture, and I'm curious, knowing that you've built really a couple different business opportunities over your career and tenure so far. Did you bring the same level of passion to previous things with the comedy clubs and doing some mortgage brokering and things like that? Did you have the same level of passion, or is this a completely different animal, just way more passionate at this point?
It's the same passion. Years ago, when we had the comedy club, we had 5 of them, so we took all 5 general managers and we took them to a Tony Robbins fire walk. And are you familiar with the fire walk?
I am, yes.
Okay. So we all went. There's 1,200 people there that night. And we watched them build the fire walks. They had all these huge oak wood cords sitting next to each station. And they built it, and you could see the burning coals. And we're going, are you kidding me? What are we going to do tonight? And the managers asked, why do we have to do this? He goes, hey, this will be good for you. Trust us. And we're going, shit, I don't know what I got into. We all walked the fire walk, even our wives did. And when you end up walking 15 feet, 6 feet wide, barefoot, okay, and you come out the other end and you're not burned to death, okay, you can do anything. So, and from that point, I've always been an enthusiastic kind of person, even in my real estate business. I took it on, and within 6 months, I was averaging 8 to 10 listings a month. And I worked alone. I didn't have a team of people. I enjoyed what I did. Same thing with teaching. I loved it. It's just a new thing, and it's fun. And if you can't have fun, why do it? And I don't even worry about the money. The money is really good. It just comes in every week. So I teach other people how to do what I do. If you know somebody and you can help them, it's kind of like a moral obligation. You need to help that person. You make their lives better. That's what we do. So why not have fun doing it, which I do.
I love that. I think having fun is such an important key to success in anything that you do. Looking back at just kind of what you shared about the comedy clubs and the fact that it was sold out for the first 6 months and then really didn't taper off too much, you just kept that consistency, went on to open additional locations, things like that. I mean, that's a really big feat for any of the other business owners, entrepreneurs that are listening to this. That's really, really cool. What would you say was the biggest lesson that you learned along that journey and going through, consistently filling a location to, branching out and having multiple locations across, would you say 4 different states and 200 employees? What was the biggest lesson that if you were to look back and say, here's the one or two things that just stand out, these are the kind of the biggest lessons or learnings I had.
Your
What
team,
might those be?
your team, the people you surround yourself with. I can't remember any naysayers we ever had on our team. They weren't allowed. Okay. And we ask people, we expect you to do the right thing always. Customer, take care of them. If they're upset about something, make them happy. Okay. Make them, waitresses would come up and complain. Oh, I didn't get tipped. I go, you know what? Doesn't matter. It's going to come around. Don't worry about the tip. Worry about killing them with kindness and service. You will get rewarded. But if you worry about the tip, it won't come. It just doesn't work that way. So we built our teams, our attorneys, our CPA, our managers, our staff. We took good care of them. We took our managers to Vegas for 4 days. They got to see other comedy club would bring their people in, but we'd give them each $500 a piece and say, go do what you want. But you need to be at the showings when the comics come through. Okay, and they did. And they took care of people. That was the game plan. Okay, and then giving back. You need to be involved in the community. So we're all part of the chambers, visitors associations. We donated to different groups to help people out. I hired homeless people to work for us. You can't not feel good about doing something like that. And that just begets more goodness. So that was our philosophy, but it was the team thing, listening to what your people, waitresses, we had name tags for everybody. And all of a sudden I looked at the waitress and I go, what's that on your name tag? Well, what they did, one waitress says, we kind of got tired of all the customers saying, hey, you. So they made a name tag for everybody that said, hey, you on it. And I thought, that was clever. Go for it. But they'd come up with ideas what to do and we'd listen and we'd change it. But it wasn't a long drawn out. We did it immediately because we figured if it didn't work, we'll change it. No big deal. So nothing sets you back. Okay. It's a learning thing. You're going to fail. You're going to screw it up. Okay. Just do it differently next time. So that's it in kind of a nutshell.
I love that. That's absolutely fantastic. Well, Joe, I want to be respectful of time. So before I ask kind of my final question, I'd love to end all of these interviews on. For those that are listening that want to learn more about Lifewave, about all the fantastic, phenomenal things that you shared with us here today, how can they find out more information? How can they get in contact with you? Tell us where we can go to find more.
Well, you can go to, I've got 2 websites, refreshwithjoe.com. Okay. Or that's refreshwithjoe.com or lifewave.com/refresh. They'll list pricing and things on there. Don't pay attention to it. That's retail. I never do retail. And right now we got a great promotion going on, 20% off. It's like, wow. It's really inexpensive. So I thought it's pretty good. And it's all affordable. You're figuring what, $1.69, $1.49 for that, and all of a sudden that's glutathione, protects, it detoxifies all your organs, protects the immune system, builds it up. So
Beautiful.
That or you can call me on my cell, 503-789-1618. Text me, hey, you want more info? I'll get back to you.
Beautiful. Joe, I will make sure to put this information in the description for the video and everything below so that those that do get a chance to see this will have an opportunity to reach out to you and learn a little bit more. But as we wrap up here, Joe, I've got one question I love to end every interview on, and that is, Joe, what is most inspiring to you today?
The joy of seeing and that I get from somebody who is no longer dealing with a situation. That is so cool to know that you help somebody. That's real. Kind of a really good feeling. So that's what I get my inspiration from other people.
I love that. That is absolutely phenomenal.
Okay, cool.
Well, Joe, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down. It's been a pleasure getting to know your history and the amazing, cool things that you've accomplished over your 10 years of business owner as an entrepreneur, and the things that you're accomplishing now. Appreciate sharing the photos and the things that can kind of give a visual to really the impact that Lifewave has. So, thank you for sharing that. It really has been a pleasure. But thank you for being here.
Well, thank you. Appreciate your time. We'll see you again soon.